What's up everybody, Chef Glenn B and I'm back in the kitchen, and today I'm making fried chicken and cornbread waffles, and I'm topping it with a hot honey butter. In addition to that, I'm gonna pair it with a sparkling rosé. Let's go. The first step in the process is to get the chicken into a 24-hour buttermilk brine. All right, I've got chicken thighs here. They're boneless, and I left the skin on. I wanted to make this recipe as easy as possible to eat. I figure if you got waffles on the plate, you don't want to necessarily have to deal with the bone. So I've got boneless skin on thighs, and I'm gonna pound them out. I wanna make sure they're pretty thin. A few of them are a little thicker than the others, but I wanna make sure that they're all even. All right, I'm just gonna place my thighs onto the plastic that I have laid out here. I'm gonna cover them with plastic. And again, I'm just gonna pound the thickest part of the thigh just so that they're even all the way across. All right, we got them pounded out, nice and even. I've got my Ziploc bag here, and I'm gonna start with some buttermilk. To the buttermilk, I'm gonna add salt, onion powder, garlic powder, dried thyme, smoked paprika, cayenne pepper, and black pepper. Get that mixed together. All right, the chicken thighs go right into the buttermilk mixture. I'm gonna place my chicken thighs in the refrigerator, and as I mentioned, they're gonna marinate overnight, 24 hours. All right, it's the next day. I got my chicken thighs out of the refrigerator. They've been in the marinade for 24 hours. Let's go ahead and make the hot honey butter. In order to do that, I gotta start with the hot honey. All right, I've got some medium heat going underneath this pot here, and I've got some honey. Also got some crushed red pepper. All right, so I wanna just bring this to a slight little simmer. I don't want this to boil. I wanna extract all the flavor and the heat from that crushed red pepper. All right, my honey and crushed red pepper is simmered for 4 or 5 minutes or so, and I can smell it. I'm just knowing that I've gotten great flavor going on. I'm gonna strain this into this bowl. I'm just gonna strain the crushed red pepper out. This is the bowl that I'm actually gonna make the hot honey butter in. So I'm gonna allow this honey to cool down so that I can get everything mixed together. All right, my hot honey has cooled slightly. Let's finish it up. I've got some apple cider vinegar, fresh lemon, and of course my butter. I've got a little splash of apple cider vinegar, some pinch of kosher salt, and just a little splash of fresh lemon. I'm gonna add my butter. Get that mixed together. I'm gonna finish it up with a whisk. The hot honey butter is gonna sit in the refrigerator and cool. I don't want it to cool so much that it's hard. I want it to cool where it's stiff, but it's still kind of soft, so that when we put it on top of that hot chicken, it can easily melt and just drizzle down the chicken. All right, so into the refrigerator. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I don't want it to get too stiff. As I mentioned, I'm doing a cornbread waffle. My cornbread waffle consists of charred fresh corn. So I need to get this corn cut off the cob and I want to get it charred in this cast iron pan here. All right, so I'm just going to cut it off of the cob. I'm using this bowl here to catch it. I've got my cast iron pan super hot and it's dry. I'm not putting any oil in it. I'm gonna add my corn. All right, into the pan with my corn. So I'm gonna leave it on that side for about 2 minutes or so. I'm not gonna mess with it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little stir. As you can see, we got some char on there. My corn's nice and charred. I'm gonna put it back in this bowl. I'm gonna season it with a little bit of salt and smoked paprika. This is gonna add a depth of flavor to our waffles. All right, let's put together the dredge for the chicken. Start with my flour, cornstarch, salt, baking powder, cayenne pepper, smoked paprika, garlic powder, white pepper, dry mustard, and accent. Get that whisked together. I'm gonna dredge my chicken in this flour. I'm gonna pull it out of the buttermilk, and I'm not gonna try to get any of the excess buttermilk off. Straight out of the buttermilk, right into the flour. Press the chicken into the flour. Make sure it's nice and coated. Set the chicken thigh aside. I'm gonna set my chicken thighs aside. I want them to sit with this breading on them for about 20 minutes or so. I want this breading to really adhere to the chicken. Okay, let's put together the waffle mix. All right, first let's put together these dry ingredients. I've got flour, just all-purpose flour, cornmeal, sugar, cornstarch, baking powder, baking soda, and salt. All right, whisk and combine the dry ingredients. I'm gonna set my dry ingredients aside and put together my wet ingredients. I've got a couple of eggs. Add my buttermilk. I've got a little water. And I've got some browned butter. I'm gonna fold my wet mixture into the dry mixture. All right, to this, I'm gonna add my cheddar cheese. I've got some fresh scallions straight from my garden. And I've got some corn, the corn that we charred. I'm not gonna use all of this. I'm gonna set my waffle mix aside. Let's talk about the wine. The wine that I'm pairing with my fried chicken and cornbread waffles is the 2018 Ultramarine Hirsch Vineyard Rosé. This is a sparkling rosé. To get it open and get some in the glass. Ultramarine is a project by Michael Cruz. They're producing all small production sparkling wines, mostly single vineyard sparkling wines. This rosé, the grapes are from the Hirsch Vineyard on the Sonoma Coast. Think steep elevations, think rough soils, think coastal cool climates. That's where these grapes come from. All right, on the nose, I'm getting strawberry. I'm getting that saline thing. I like to think that it's an ocean influence or coastal influence. Sea spray, for lack of a better way to say it. Little citrus, maybe orange. Let's give it a taste. Berries. Berries, very much berry. Ample acidity, really crisp acidity. One of the things I like about these wines is there's body and structure. They're not just a flash in the pan sparkling wine. Really good. All right, let's see if this pairs. I'm ready to fry my chicken and cook the waffles. I'm gonna fry my chicken thighs for about 6 or 7 minutes, but more than time, I'm looking for temperature. I'm looking for 165 degrees internal temperature. While my chicken's frying, I'm gonna mix my finishing dust. I've got some brown sugar, smoked paprika, cayenne pepper, and salt. Get that mixed together. I'm gonna dust this on my chicken as soon as it comes out of the oil while it's nice and piping hot. All right, a little of my finishing dust. I'm gonna spray my waffle iron. Beautiful. Nice and brown. My fried chicken and cornbread waffles are done. I'm ready to dig in. I've already doused it with some syrup. I'm loving the savory waffle. I'm already knowing before I taste it. That is so delicious. Fresh scallions, that cheddar. Don't forget the browned butter that we added. And to top it all off, the corn. And it has that cornbread taste to it. It's a waffle, but it tastes like cornbread. Don't forget, we had cornmeal. It's fantastic. Now for the chicken. Wow. Unbelievable. Let's see if it pairs. So let me tell you what's going on here, why this is working. The acidity is cutting through and balancing the fat and the richness of the chicken. The bubbles are cleansing my palate. We've got the structure and the minerality that's just pairing well with the savoriness of the waffle. And the actual rosé fruit is playing with the honey and the spices. Very nice pairing, but I gotta double check. That is a perfect pairing. I'm Chef Glenn Bean, as always. Eat well.